Mainstream media, Associated Press reports Biden defeats Trump for White House, says time to heal. Democrat Joe Biden defeated President Donald Trump, didn't defeat him yet, to become the 46th President of the United States on Saturday and offered himself to the nation as a leader who seeks not to divide, but to unify a country gripped by a historic pandemic and a confluence of economic and social turmoil. I sought this office to restore the soul of America, Biden said in a primetime victory speech not far from his Delaware home, and to make America respected around the world again and to unite us here at home. Let me tell you something. America is well respected around the world by the people. America is not respected by the elites, the rulers of those people. The elites want back in the White House. We cannot let that happen. Now, with that said, how is Joe Biden going to unite the country when he can't even unite his own party? Let's take a look. BLM protesters crash Biden party, calling out white liberals as drunken effing fools. BLM protesters march into Black Lives Matter Plaza in Washington, D.C. on Saturday night and criticize white liberals who celebrated Biden winning this election. BLM marchers took to the streets of D.C. on Saturday night, shouting, burn it down, Breitbart News reported. As they made their way into Black Lives Matter Plaza near the White House, they became increasingly critical of the evening's earlier celebrations. For all of you effing journalists, for all of you white liberals who have been celebrating, getting drunk off your asses about Biden winning this election, you are a bunch of effing fools, one man can be heard yelling on a bullhorn, journalist Andy No tweeted. And for proof that he tweeted this, here's a tweet for all of you to see. This was tweeted November 7th. Here you go. I will leave a link in the description below. And the article goes on to say how BLM hates basically everybody except black people. You are using this plaza as a tourist attraction, he continued. You are all acting like this is effing Disney World. This is not effing Disney World. Joe Biden just supposedly won and you still complain. These people cannot have an ounce of happiness. Again, he didn't win, but let them enjoy their happiness while it lasts. You will not colonize this space, he told Biden supporters who previously partied on the plaza. We will not have it here. He continued chastising the Biden supporters and said BLM is not going anywhere. Well, not for now. And if you want more videos of what happened here, here's the same tweet that was retweeted by Andy No. And I'll send you a link on the description of the full video. Now, BLM protester dances with effigy of beheaded Donald Trump. Wow. Party that's going to unify the nation hates the other half of the nation. How in the world are they going to do that? Unify us. A tweeted video shows a man with a Black Lives Matter flag dancing with an effigy of beheaded Donald Trump. The man is standing above a crowd of Biden-Harris supporters doing a Madison, Wisconsin protest. This article was reported on November 7th, 2020. The last article was reported, November 8th, 2020. Back to the head of Trump. A video tweeted by cinematographer Rebecca Brannon, shows a man dancing above a crowd of Biden-Harris supporters on Saturday. He is holding a Black Lives Matter flag in his right hand and a likeness of the severed head of President Trump in the other. Here is the tweet. Oh, wow, look at that. Twitter is now censoring it. Huh. You can't hear it. I'll leave a link in the description for you to see the video. And just as things can't get any better, leftists, never Trumpers, begin compiling lists of Trump supporters. Left wing Democrats and never Trump Republicans appealed Friday for the assistance in a compiling list of Trump supporters. They could be held accountable for supporting President Donald Trump after the election. Yeah. Unity, except not. Democrats, socialists, which should be really communists, Representative Alexandria Ocasio Cortez tweeted, "Is anyone archiving these Trump psychopaths for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? I foresee decent probability of many deleted tweets, writings, photos in the future." Let's see this tweet. There's a tweet, and there's the continuation of the tweet. LOL at the party of personal responsibility, being upset at the idea of being responsible for their behavior over the last 4 years. We should put them in a series of work camps, maybe up north where it's cold. We could have an entire archipelago of these camps. I think you're onto something. Chris Nodimas is referring to the Gulag archipelago that the Soviets had during the Soviet Union, where they sent all political dissidents and prisoners to the frozen tundra of the gulags in Siberia. I believe it was Siberia. To basically suffer for the rest of their lives. It's pretty much concentration camp, but worse. They don't, as far as I can remember from history, they didn't kill you. They just let everything else kill you. Nature, the poor sanitation, no food. Yeah, sounds like communism. Equality for all. And now let's go to the Trump Accountability Project. Here's their official Twitter account. 4,237 followers and counting at this time of the video. Here's the Trump Accountability Project from GLAAD. Look at all this. They're going to dox all these people and more. Don't think it's just the big heads. No, they're going to be doxing everybody. That's right. Everybody's going to the gulags. Who is this GLAAD? About GLAAD, leading the conversation, shaping the media narrative, changing the culture. That's GLAAD at work. GLAAD rewrites the script for LGBTQ acceptance. As a dynamic media force, GLAAD tackles tough issues to shape the narrative and provoke dialogue that leads to cultural change. GLAAD protects all that has been accomplished and creates a world where everyone can live the life they love. Except for Trump supporters. Except for Trump supporters. The party of inclusiveness and diversity. Only if you are not a Trump supporter. If you're a Trump supporter, you can F off. That's what they're saying. So glad that the LGBT community is trying to get acceptance by throwing out people who they don't agree with. It's beautiful. I'm being sarcastic here. And here's the official website, the Trump Accountability Project. Link will be in the description. Look at this. We must never forget those who further the Trump agenda. AOC facing heat for wanting to archive online posts by Trump's psychopaths. AOC is facing heat for urging her supporters to create an archive of online postings by Trump psychopaths who may later regret their affiliation with the president. Is anyone archiving these Trump psychopaths for when they try to downplay or deny their complicity in the future? AOC tweeted Friday. I foresee, yeah, that's the rest of the tweet. Commentators quickly decided the list making endeavor was something a ruthless communist dictator would love. Wow, who would have thought? Joseph is proud of you, one user wrote, referring to the notorious Soviet Union dictator Joseph Stalin. Another person posted a photo of Mao Zedong with the caption, "Big shoes to fill, but you'll get there." AOC received a since deleted response from an ex staffer of former President Barack Obama, Michael Simon, who shared a link to a site called the Trump Accountability Project. Huh. You mean this? Yeah, the establishment wants everybody who work for Trump and the people out. The elites don't like that. They want power. The site says it aims to embarrass and hold accountable people complicit in the worst behaviors of Trump's presidency. Oh my God. Including his staff, his campaign staff, excuse me, White House staff, donors, and even lawyers. Wow, they're trying to get everybody. The world should never forget those who, when faced with a decision, chose to put their money, their time, and their reputations behind separating children from their families. Didn't Obama build those cages? Wasn't Obama doing that too? Hmm. I remember, since I'm Latino, I know for a fact Obama was the worst when it came to deporting Latinos from this country, encouraging racism and anti Semitism. Let's go talk about racism. Under Obama, racism in this country got worse. Racial divisions got worse. BLM popped up and is basically a racist terrorist organization. It's just pro black, no unity. If you're not black, you're against us. Anti Semitism. Listen, I live and I'm from New York. I can tell you. De Blasio hates the Jews. Jesus Christ. Oh my God. You can just look up the news. De Blasio really hates the Jews and negligently causing the unnecessary loss of life and economic devastation from our country's failed response to the COVID pandemic. Unnecessary loss of life. You mean like the unnecessary travel ban Trump put up, I believe in February, to stop Chinese citizens from coming into the country and further spreading the virus? Hmm. You mean the putting an early travel ban on Europe before the virus could spread here further? Hmm. And the country's failed economic response, the economic devastation, excuse me. Aren't all the areas that are economically devastated Democrat controlled areas, big cities, Democrat governors, Democrat states? Yeah, I think it's the other way around. The Democrats are destroying this country, not the Republicans, or at least not the Trump Republicans. The site's list of Trump loyalists has not been made public, and besides names, it's unclear what type of information will be provided. It's probably going to be a list of addresses, names, home addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, you name it. It's going to be everything. They want to dox these people and make their lives miserable. You're going to be living in communist China if the Democrats get their way. So, in conclusion, AOC and her communist followers have opened the door to something truly terrifying. They want an America where if one speaks out wrongly, they will be doxxed and thrown out of society. They want an America where if one commits wrong thing, they will be doxxed and thrown out of society. And just as Jennifer Rubin said on Twitter, any Republican promoting rejection of an election or calling to not follow the will of the voters or making baseless allegations of fraud should never serve in office, join a corporate board, find a faculty position, or be accepted into polite society. We have a list. Wow. Just wow. How can these people speak so confidently now when the election isn't over? There is evidence of voter fraud in many states. Project Veritas has evidence and whistleblowers of voter fraud on camera. There are now legal battles going on in the courts. In my opinion, the Democrats and their communist allies are celebrating too early, and their calls for doxing and removing Trump supporters from society will come back to haunt them. Why? To be fair, they do have a good idea. Why not just remove all the troublemakers from society? It can work. Just not if the Democrats and their communist allies do it. Instead, it will be Trump and his allies removing Democrat conspirators from office, corporate boards, and facilities or faculties. Democrats and their communist allies will dread the day they decide to fraud the American people.